98440632.
Namaskar everyone, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live session of Sahyog. You're watching us on channel number 6212 and also on our YouTube channel NCERT Official. Viewers, as you all know that Sahyog sessions are held under the Mano Darpan initiative of the Ministry of Education as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to make parents and students and teachers obviously encourage them and to provide psychosocial support to them. So it's a very important session और आज के हमारे session में जो हमारा topic है that is a wonderful topic. It is promoting self-discipline for a successful career. We know what is the importance of self-discipline and today we will learn more about it. और अगर आपके कुछ भी questions हैं, आप बात करना चाहते हैं हमारे expert से, आप हमें call कर सकते हैं. हमारा phone number है 8800440559 और साथ ही साथ आप हमें email भी कर सकते हैं और हमारा email ID है sahyog.ncert@ciet.nic.in. सबसे पहले हम आपका इंट्रोडक्शन कराते हैं हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स से. आज हमारे साथ दो एक्सपर्ट्स हैं फॉर दिस सेशन एंड वी हैव विद अस डॉक्टर सुभाष चंद्र रॉय. ही इज़ प्रोफेसर फ्रॉम NERIE Shillong along with Marsha Sabreen Rahman who is a practicing counselor. Welcome to the session, sir. Welcome to the session, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So before we start the session and we talk about this important topic, there is a very important announcement to make regarding India's presidency of G20. Well, we are proud of the fact that India has assumed G20 presidency and would convene a G20 leader summit for the first time in the country. And India is a country which is dedicated to democracy and I'm sorry. So now let's start the session and my first question is to Professor Subhash. So what do you mean by self-discipline?
Thank you very much. It's a very nice question. My namaskar to all the viewers. Self-discipline is something which is guided and controlled by inside of the person. It's internally controlled and internally guided. When we do something on our own with the motivation of internal intrinsic kind of motivation and passion and then drives, then it's a kind of self-discipline. And it is something which is very automatic in nature, and it can take a person to a long journey, and it is never coercive in nature, and it is something which makes a person wonderful, and it can transform and reform the whole personality of the person. It can lead to the achievement of any kind of goal in the world. So self-discipline is something which can be nurtured, which can be created, and which is more important than the external discipline, the discipline, so-called discipline, which has the locus control outside somewhere, which is externally imposed. So this self-discipline is very precious, and it is something which is can be cherished, can be developed, and can take the person to any height. So self-discipline is that kind of wonderful material inside a person. Thank you.
Types of discipline.
Namaste to all the viewers. As sir has already defined what's the definition of self-discipline, and coming to the types of discipline, there are basically two types. One is external and one is internal. External discipline is something which is imposed by a teacher or by any other higher authority in the form of punishment or reward, and which is external to an individual. For example, एक student का अगर हम लोग behavior change करना चाहे, जैसे वो शायद class में बहुत disturb करता है, तो there is a higher authority, the teachers, he or she will use some of the techniques in order to change his behavior in a disciplined manner. So that becomes our external discipline. And coming to internal discipline is something which is restrained and exercised by the person. वो इंसान खुद से करता है, रेगुलेट अपना बिहेवियर्स खुद से रेगुलेट करता है, एंड एवरीथिंग इज इंटरनल. इट्स सेल्फ मोटिवेटिंग एंड self discipline is also can also be classified, or it is also a type of internal discipline. So in short, these were the types of discipline. Thank you for the question.
Roy, I have a question to you. What are the techniques through which a child can be disciplined?
Again, this is a very, very important question. Here lies the role of a teacher or parents or any caregiver in life. मुझे लगता है कि जब हम सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन की बात करते हैं और यह इतना महत्वपूर्ण है और यह इंट्रिंसिक है, इंटरनल है, यह सेल्फ गाइडेड होता है और ये बहुत ही लॉन्ग लास्टिंग होता है. ये ऐसा है कि बहुत दूर तक ले जाता है और किसी तरह के अचीवमेंट को प्राप्त करने के लिए, किसी तरह की अच्छी सी अच्छी चीजों को, उपलब्धि को लेने के लिए ये सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन हमें वहां तक पहुंचा देता है. लेकिन इसको कैसे करें? डिसिप्लिन मुझे लगता है कि खास करके सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन एक तरह का ये मसल की तरह होता है. जैसे हमारी मांसपेशियां होती हैं, जब हम उसको मजबूत बनाना चाहते हैं तो हम एक्सरसाइज करते हैं.
Right.
और एक्सरसाइज करके हम अपने मसल्स को बहुत मजबूत बनाते हैं. उसी तरह से हमारी आदतें होती हैं. और जो सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन है, जो अंदर की बुनावट होती है मनुष्य के अंदर, जहां से वो प्रेरणा आती है कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, और क्या करना चाहिए तो कहां तक करना चाहिए और किस सीमा तक करना चाहिए. इस तरह की चीजें जो अंदर से निर्देशित होती हैं, उसको हम विकसित कर सकते हैं और यह अभ्यास के द्वारा होता है. तो यहाँ पर माँ बाप, समाज के लोग, परिवार के लोग, या हमारे विद्यालयों में, यूनिवर्सिटी में टीचर्स, या जो भी हमारे बुजुर्ग हैं, जो हमारे मार्गदर्शक हैं, वो हमें इसके लिए प्रेरित कर सकते हैं और इस अभ्यास में हमें डाल सकते हैं. तो ये जो अभ्यास है, जो प्रैक्टिस है, जिसके माध्यम से जिन चीजों को हम दोहराना चाहते हैं उसको हम अपने अंदर में डालते हैं और फिर उस दिशा में आगे बढ़ते चले जाते हैं. जब हम बार बार करते हैं तो जाहिर है कि ये हमारी आदत बन जाती है, हमारे व्यक्तित्व का यह हिस्सा बन जाता है और फिर हम जीवन भर इसका लाभ उठाते रहते हैं. इसमें छोटी छोटी बातें होती हैं, जैसे कि हम कहते हैं कि एक छोटा सा शुरू में छोटे छोटे कदम रखना चाहिए. वी हैव टू सेट वेरी वेरी स्मॉल गोल्स इन द बिगिनिंग, एंड देन we have to follow the goals, and at the same time we have to see what are the motivating factors to achieve those goals. Those motivating factors we have to identify, and then we have to cherish those factors. Oh, this is what it's because of this I have to do this, because of this I have to follow this routine, or I have to follow this say timetable, or your mindset or behavior or whatever, so habit or the routine. So all these things will come from inside, and it will be based on some motivational factors. So these small motivational factors, good factors, we have to identify, we have to cherish them, and because of that, on that logic, we'll have to abide by those. At the same time, we have also to identify what are the intervening factors we are facing. The child is facing. The child has to identify. Oh, क्या मुझे रोकता है इस अच्छे बिहेवियर को आगे बढ़ाने में? उन छोटी छोटी रुकावटों को भी उसको पहचानना चाहिए और उसको दूर करने का प्रयास करना चाहिए, उसको छोड़ने का प्रयास करना चाहिए. ये अंदर से चीजें आती हैं और हम अपने प्रैक्टिस में ला करके वो जो चीजें मुझे डिसअपॉइंट करती हैं, डिस्करेज करती हैं, उसको हम छोड़ते हैं, और जो चीजें मुझे आगे बढ़ने के लिए, अपने गोल को अचीव करने में मदद करती है, उसको हम अपनाते चले जाते हैं. तो ये एक तरह की प्रैक्टिस होती है. उसके बाद कुछ ऐसी आदतें होती हैं, तो हमको रीवायर करना पड़ता है अपने आप को. जो पुरानी आदतें हैं, जो ओल्ड हैबिट्स हैं, which are not helping, which are not helpful, and we got it somehow or other, consciously or unconsciously, subconsciously. So those old habits, say bad habits, we need to reorient ourselves. So those things also we keep on doing, and the children have to keep on doing, reflecting on it, and then again one has to see the progress, whether with this effect, with this self-discipline, one is progressing forward or not. It's a progressing forward kind of thing. Self-discipline helps in moving forward. So if the achievement is made, and achievement itself becomes the further motivation. Achievement itself is a motivation. So once we set the small goal and we achieve it, we identify the motivating factors, we cherish those factors, we remove the hurdles, the intervening factors, and again at the same time, we keep on rewiring our habits and thought processes, wrong habits, wrong thinking process. We keep on removing and weeding out, and this way we can internally we orient ourselves, and we can develop a healthy habit, healthy thinking process, and a healthy routine, and that becomes the internal discipline, because that is linked to the achievement, and that is a kind of a long term the rewarding process. So this way we can train our students, we can train our children, and we can make them very strong in this thought process, as by practice we make our muscles stronger, and we become a strong, become bodybuilder. So this way, self-discipline also can be made stronger and stronger automatically, intrinsically, and it will be everlasting for the person. Thank you.
So we have learned about the techniques of self-discipline for children, but when it comes to self, Marsha ma'am, I would like to ask you, what are the techniques that should be applied to oneself for self-discipline?
When we talk about techniques of maintaining self-discipline, as a teacher counselor, we play an important role in preventing indiscipline, because I believe class 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, these 5 years are the golden years for a student to develop a successful career. So at this age, a teacher counselor plays a very important role in maintaining the disciplined life of a student. And also, identification and analysis of the situation is very important for having a disciplined lifestyle. And having a disciplined lifestyle will help an individual to have a successful career. And again, I am repeating the line that identification and analysis of our behavior is very, very important. Thank you.
Right. Now, sir, I would like to ask you about some do's and don'ts that we need to follow while we are, trying to teach self-discipline to ourselves or to the kids.
See, in this respect, in developing self-discipline, I think two things I feel that these two things are very important. The first thing is the freedom, independence. Now, generally, what happens as a teacher, as parents, as elders in the family, what we do is we try to control our children everywhere. And the control comes from father, mother, or the elders, the teachers. We become authoritative, we impose things, rules, regulations, and other things, instructions. And mostly these things are because of the protection of the child. But the fact of the matter is that the child, the child enjoys freedom, and because of the freedom, the child does many things, and then in course of doing those things, the child learns what works for the child and what does not work for the child. And based on that, the child gets some knowledge of what is good and what is bad. So this way the child imbibes the self-discipline. And this kind of developing the self-discipline, I think the freedom has to be given. This is the must. So freedom to a great extent to the child. Let the child learn, let the child handle things and learn on their own, children on their own, and then they will learn self-discipline. So for that, no restriction at all, no external pressure, and no many rules on children from outside, either by parents or by teachers, but only the freedom. Let the child enjoy freedom. Let the child do independently. The second thing is, when the children do this independently, then they are in the habit of learning, experiencing, learning, and taking independent decisions. Now, taking independent decision, I think this seed has to be grown there itself in the beginning, and since beginning it should be there. So independent decision making, I think, it's something which is very important, and which is the basic ingredient for developing the self discipline. So this self discipline, the internal thing, the locus control is here inside, and this origin of this place is the independent thinking, independent choice making, independent decision making, and the freedom to enjoy, experience, do activities, and learn from those, not from the instructions, not from verbal instructions or traits or external kind of things or rules or regulations or norms, guidelines, etc. So these two things, the freedom is the first thing. The second, I would say that let children not to fear. I think the this fear, the word fear, and let us not scare the child that, oh, don't do this, otherwise you will meet this consequence. Don't do this, otherwise you will meet this. So this fear of failure, the fear of meeting some trait, fear of meeting something, some accidents, etc., etc. The fear I think both the seed of fear in the minds of children, and from there they do not learn this self indiscipline kind of thing. So let us not insert fear in the minds of children. And so the fear, and then the fear of failure also. So let them meet the failure, let them face the failure, and from there they will learn. So we need to incorporate courage and all these things to meet the failure, to embrace the failure. That is one thing. And secondly, I also believe that let us reward, let us give appreciation or some rewards in some kind also to children when they experience some sort of success, some sort of the sense of achievement. They should be rewarded, they should be appreciated, they should be acknowledged. Oh, well, you have done wonderful. So these kind of things, let us not be so miser in giving these things to our children when they are achieving, when they are doing some good things, when they are experiencing some good things. So these efforts should be awarded. So I mean, keeping these things in mind, we can build uh, self discipline among children, and that is I would say that is the very important thing, because the discipline, the external discipline, what we call it as, it's the very old outdated theory. It was believed earlier that when children or parents, they will impose something on children, and when children will grow with these impositions during adult age, they will internalize these things and they will become self-disciplined. But there is no research behind this logic, and that's why this logic is outdated, and that's why external discipline is not welcome these days. It is the self-discipline which makes a person great, and all the great people of the world, they have something of this kind of habit, which is originated by or from the self-discipline, guided by the self-discipline. Thank you.
Right, sir. So you very beautifully explained that why self-discipline is very important and how a child should be given liberty and freedom to express himself or herself, and the fear of failure, should not be instilled in child. Now, Marsha ma'am, we're running short of time, so I have to ask the last question very quickly. How do you think that self-discipline can help us to build a successful career, especially the students?
So, some points that we should keep in mind for having a successful career is, first, the question needs to be asked by students: what, when, and how. Just being disciplined will not help a student achieve his or her goals, because these questions are very important in order to know how and when to proceed and what to do in life. So, and also some questions can be asked by himself or herself, like, can you use discipline for you to succeed? Can success be achieved without discipline? Why is self-discipline important in career life? These answers, there will be many answers from many teachers and students and the viewers. But there is just one goal in all of this thing, is that we need to be self-disciplined in order to have a successful career. And the second is, we need to have clear goals. When I talk about clear goals, there is a technique which is known as SMART goals, which the students and also the viewers can use it for their benefit. Like S stands for SMART, where M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time bound. This is a SMART goal by which a student or anyone can use it in order to have a successful career. As our topic for today was promoting self-discipline for a successful career, I would like to conclude by saying that we can use the SMART goal technique and have a disciplined life and also have a successful career in whichever field we want of our interest. With this, I conclude.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable contribution to this session. हमने self discipline के बारे में बहुत अच्छे से जाना and you addressed some very important questions. You replied and हम सबको ये पता है कि कितना ज़रूरी है self discipline in our daily life, in general life, and if you want to build a career, then it is of paramount importance. Thank you so much. So viewers, that was our session Sahyog today, and it's now time for me to wrap up this session. But before I do that, I want to give you a very important update about NCERT textbooks. जी हाँ, NCERT की textbooks available हैं across the country on our various sales counters which are located at New Delhi, Kolkata, Guwahati, Ahmedabad and Bengaluru. और साथ ही साथ आप NCERT textbooks के लिए ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर भी प्लेस कर सकते हैं, प्लस आप इनके PDF वर्जन्स भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं from Diksha app, ePathshala and NCERT website. So from this session, I am Harpreet Kaur taking leave of you. लेकिन आप जुड़े रहिए for the next session. नमस्कार.
सोच में सकारात्मकता लाएं, जीवन को बेहतर बनाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। मनोदर्पण के काउंसलर से परामर्श पाने के लिए डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 844-844-0632। नंबर एक बार फिर सुने 844-844-0632।